Coming to you live from the ice planet Herlox, this is Optimal Play. I'm Brandon, and I'm here to try Hyperspace Odyssey, a print-and-play Space Odyssey campaign by Alex Cannon at Micro.Games, who provided the files for the demo for this playthrough. It's coming to Kickstarter in late May 2025 here, and there'll be a link to it in the description. It's really interesting because it is a narrative campaign print and play in a way that I don't see very often. We'll be rolling dice, managing some resources, exploring this part of the galaxy of this game as one part of sort of the campaign. And this is a demo scenario, so you'll see some spoilers here, I guess, but the actual product on Kickstarter, I think, will have a full campaign of quite a few missions, at least 5, based on what the rulebook mentions. So not too much in the way of spoilers here. A couple things up front. For one, I apologize if you hear me humming Dolly Parton songs while I think about my moves. I went and saw 9 to 5 at Street Food Cinema last night. It's one of the many outdoor movie nights in the summer in Los Angeles. That movie holds up. That was pretty damn funny. It's a workplace comedy starring Dolly Parton, Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin as they kidnap their boss and hijinks ensue. It's 45 years old now, and it's crazy how well it holds up, actually, and sadly how true its commentary about the office culture and women in the workplace is today. But anyway, so might be humming some of those songs. They're certainly stuck in my head. And then normally I practice a game before I take it on camera. I want to have my head around the rules and maybe make less misplays. That part is certainly debatable how well that works. But I haven't done that here because there's this narrative aspect to the game and I wanted to experience it for the first time on camera. So I apologize that my playthrough itself could be a little bit rougher. I might take some pauses to check rules, that kind of thing, because I have not practiced Hyperspace Odyssey. So with that, let's dive into it. So here is sort of our dashboard for the game. There's several dice tracking things like our hyperdrive that generates us energy, the danger level. We'll talk about all these things more as we go. A bunch of tracks to track our number of turns. We have 5 for the demo scenario. Our money, our energy, our weapon, our shield, our drive. Over here we have all the enemies that we might encounter, all the technologies that we might acquire, some setup instructions specific to Mission 0 here, and also a map of the planets that we can explore on this scenario. So please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I always forget to say that earlier than this, but that's the one and only way to help Optimal Play grow if you appreciate these videos or enjoy them. So we'd appreciate that. And now I'm going to dive into the introduction for Mission 0 here. The future is a complicated place. Outside the handful of inhabitable planets spreads a vast network of trade routes and way stations connected through jump gates that cut down interplanetary travel to a matter of hours. Your circumstances have brought you to the Janus sector. Janus sector. I'm not going to pretend it's a German word here. The Janus sector. On the far fringes of civilized space, protected in various degrees by the Tauran Peace Force. Their military prowess is undermined by the small number of their fleet vessels in the area, allowing for a multitude of outlaws to efficiently enact a very different type of justice. With just enough cash to buy a refurbished transport vessel, you have managed to scrape a living for the last few weeks, taking the odd passenger aboard, and a couple of small cargo trips without incident. Today, all that changes. All right, that's the introduction. I think we just proceed here into number 1 here, because I can see that that's going to lay out our objectives. So, ping! Distress signal detected. The computer voice sounds oddly calm considering the message it's saying. Someone out there is having a bad day. You peer at the console as the message flashes up on screen. Distress signal. Chromiok system. Please help. Asteroid strike disabled our reactor. Energy and water supplies running low. Help will be rewarded. You immediately start to wonder what said reward might entail. The smaller, more cautious voice at the back of your head wonders how badly this obvious ambush could go. Fortune favors the brave, but maybe a robust array of weapons and shields might favor the sensible. Only time will tell. And so this lays out our objectives right here. Our objectives are to upgrade our ship's weapons, okay, and to supply the disabled ship with 5 energy and 1 ice within 5 turns, or loot the disabled ship. So we need to find the disabled ship, upgrade our ship's weapons on the way, find the disabled ship, and then either it looks like spend 5 energy and 1 ice to supply the ship, or we can just loot it. We can handle that in one of 2 ways. So those are our objectives. It does say here at Cromiox, which is over here, so a few moves from where we start here. At Cromiox, we will read entry number 2, and it gives us a location directory here. These boxes, if you're looking at my sheet, they're for sort of a walkthrough, sort of a hand-holding tutorial way of playing this demo scenario. Cool option to have, but I'm not doing that here, so I'm going to ignore those boxes. Okay, so that takes us to our energy phase, which I believe we do in the first turn of the game. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any energy. So energy is what I will use in a moment to spend on the ship's systems to kind of prepare me for what I might encounter in space. But first, we have to get some energy. So we do this energy phase where we can... we have this. This is called the Hyperdrive, and these are Q dice that go in it. If we had any energy, we could spend it to upgrade these dice to higher values, which would help us generate more energy. I think that my tentative plan is to try to sit on 2 energy this turn so that I can spend it bumping this 4 up to a 6 and have more energy per turn for the rest of the game. You'll see how that works. I have no energy to spend doing that now. The next thing we do is move dice clockwise. So each of these dice is going to move around this hyperdrive equal to their value, skipping occupied spaces. The order, I think, here doesn't matter. It's technically up to me, but I don't know how often the way the dice would move makes that matter. So this moves 1, this one moves 1, 2, 3, 4, and every time they pass the Q space, they generate an energy. Then I increase my energy by the highest valued die, so I'm going to gain 4 energy, and I power up the ship's systems. This is where I can spend energy on the ship's systems. So those systems are weapon, shield, and drive. They have costs here. Hopefully this is playing okay on camera. They have costs here, numbers in between the pips on these tracks, and that is the cost in energy to move over each one. And weapon, you spend to roll dice to try to damage enemies if you encounter them. Shield is basically your hit points. If you get hit at all while you have no shield, you are blown up and lose. So that's important. And then drive is what we spend to move from planet to planet. The drive cost is this number on the connections between planets. So I definitely want at least 1 drive so that we can travel this turn. It really seems like I better buy a point of shield. And then I guess my plan will be to try to not fight here in round 1. Because I really want to save that 2 energy as an investment. And I don't know if other effects I encounter could cause me to lose it or gain it. We'll find out together, I guess. You know what? No, I'm going to hedge. Well, no. I'm looking over here, so I would be spending that weapon power on rolling dice with these lasers. But I need at least 2 dice to get through the shields of any of these threats, if I'm understanding that right. And so getting my weapons up to 1 is like not even interesting. So I think I will save that energy and hopefully invest it in the future. So now I'm at the action phase where I can take 4 actions, but this is also where I can visit the planets as a free action and resolve kind of their narrative text there. So I'm going to start with Herlox. That we have here this location directory. Herlox is entry 4. The ice mining facility on Herlox's large icy moon always welcomes visitors. I didn't do good intonation on that sentence. Always welcomes visitors, period. Being out in the far side of what the sector deems civilization, the miners see very few new faces. I have 2 options here. I can either take a mining ticket and head out to the ice shelf, or I can take a look around the miners' common room. So I was planning to mine some ice before I left, loading some of it into my cargo. I don't know if maybe heading out to the ice shelf would help me do that like for free or anything, but I kind of think I am going to... Oh, you have to spend energy to mine. I'm just looking here at the player aid. So that would ruin my investing energy plan. Maybe that's fine. Maybe I take 1 ice with me and I leave myself 1 energy to invest. So I'm going to take a look around the miner's common room. Maybe there's something cool in there. Maybe, hey, maybe I'll get some money that way. I only have 2. So that's entry number 8. The common room is a well-used open space with couches, tables, and a few table sports. A couple of miners are chatting quietly over bowls of steaming hot stew. In one corner is a bar with a friendly, weathered woman sitting behind it. You spend a little time exchanging rumors and grumbling about the mild nausea of artificial gravity. You head out after hearing the 3rd conspiracy theory about a recent energy pulse that knocked out the entertainment array last night. As you get back to your ship, you see some kind of local has hooked you up to the solar collectors. Gain 2 energy. Oh, awesome. Okay, I'm up 4 energy. Well, now maybe I should have spent more of it on shield or drive, but what can you do? Okay, that was the end of that encounter. So, Herlock's had those 2 choices. What the rules say is kind of make a note. I guess I could be literally writing on this, but make a note of which planets you've already done, and you can't go back and just do it again and do the other choice like that. It's a one-time choice. So, you have to play this yourself, I guess, if you want to know what happens on the ice shelf. Okay, speaking of ice, while I'm here at a planet with a mineral, a resource icon on it, which is this eye, I can mine. As one action, I can, and this is where I'm going to awkwardly reach for my rules and try to double check them. Is it one action per good that I want to take? Let's see. I know trading is you can do any amount of, let's see. Nope, you can spend 1 energy resource and place the corresponding resource into available cargo space on your ship. So, I guess I'm going to take 2 actions here. 2 of my 4. Let me, I'm just going to use this die to track my actions in case I lose track. So I'm going to go from 4 to 2. I'm going to mine twice. Each time I'm spending 1 energy, now that I have energy to spare, to put some ice into my cargo hold. I can sell that later, is the reason to do that. I can see here, ice is worth $3 each, and I can sell it over here at Slome, which is a market planet, so hopefully that means I can afford to upgrade my ship's weapons, etc. Which, I'm realizing that sentence doesn't necessarily make sense to me. You can purchase technologies at the markets, and one of the technologies is the frag cannon. So is that my objective, is to buy the frag cannon? It's actually a little vague. I'm gonna pause the video really quick and make sure that the rules don't comment on that, and if they don't, then I am going to play it that way. Okay, so the demo rules didn't define the word upgrade, so I am thinking that unless the narrative text eventually teaches me otherwise, buying the frag cannon, which is $5 and I have 2, that is how to satisfy the upgrade your ship's weapon objective. It makes sense, by the way, that upgrading your ship's weapons would be sort of part of the demo learning scenario, I guess, so that's not a surprising objective. Okay, so that's 2 actions down. The other things that I can do is bounty hunt. If I'm at a location with this red number, I can kind of seek out trouble and try to defeat an enemy to make some money. I can take 2 actions on hard labor to gain 1 money. I don't think that is what I want to do here. And I can trade if I'm at a planet that allows trade. Those are the actions. So for now, I think I'm going to move. I'm going to attempt to move to Zidaneb. So this moving is not a sure thing because I might encounter danger on the way. This die ticks up each turn but goes back down to 1 when I defeat an enemy. It is the danger level, and I need to roll a die and make sure that I don't equal or exceed that danger level, or other way around. Come in at or below that danger level, because if so, I encounter trouble along the way. So, I'm going to attempt to travel to Zidaneb, and I need to not roll a 1 here. And I rolled a 1. This is off to a good start. Okay. I'm gonna peek the rules here and make sure that I know what's going on. So the enemy I would encounter along the way is defined by the danger level, plus any modifiers if there are any, but I think in this case it's just the danger level. I would roll a die to see whether there's a probe or a crypto wagon along the way. These have a shield, and I brought no weapon power in my ship system, so I think I need to do what you can do and decide not to move and just waste that action. I have one action left. I really, as long as I can kind of make forward progress this round, and I made that decision to invest some energy, I think I'll feel okay about what I accomplished this round. So I'm going to let that action go, and I'm going to attempt one more time. If I roll a 1 again, I'm not sure what I'll do, but here we go. It's a 5. Okay, so I safely can spend that drive energy, back down to 0, move to Zidineb. Now, it's a free action to look at this planet's entry, but I wonder if I would rather do it at the start of next round. Because I don't know how negative these could be. Like, am I going to wish I had weapon or more shield in some of these narrative situations? Or could there be more free energy that I'll wish I had to invest in my hyperdrive? It's not an easy call. I think I'm going to wait. We'll start off next round with that. So, I go to turn end. I tick up the danger level. The way to get that back down is to eventually encounter and defeat enemies, so that's a little scary. And I move the turn track down. I have 5 total turns available to me, and that is that one. Okay, back to the energy phase. I can inject energy, spending energy to bump up a Q die. I'm going to make that a 4 to 6, and then since you gain energy equal to your highest die anyway, I'm going to get that energy right back. That felt worth doing. Okay, I'm going to move dice clockwise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This passed the Q. I gain 1 energy. This one will move 1. And I get 6 energy. Increase energy by the highest value die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 energy now, which feels great. Let's spend most of it. Maybe even all of it, since now I'm not mining. I don't know what else I would need it for. So I'm going to spend definitely 2 of it on drive, because the next movement space takes 2 drive energy. So that puts me down to 5. Let's actually get some weapons going, huh? This costs 1. This costs another 2? That's expensive. Man, I really want that frag cannon ASAP, I feel like. I should probably try to keep avoiding conflict, because this is a way more powerful way to spend my weapon power. So the thing about drive power is that it can also be used, as my understanding, it can also be used to power weapons. And so kind of when I'm deciding whether to spend my last energy on more drive or more weapons, I think I might as well spend it on more drive. Either that, or I could afford 2 more points of shield. All right, this is a tough call. I think I'm gonna buy the shield. Trying to maximize spending energy on the cheapest tiers here. I have some weapon in case I need it, but I'd rather spend the drive and then buy it back when it's cheap again rather than spend it while it costs 2 each. Okay, that's feeling risky, but it should be all right. It should be all right. Okay, I'm going to set myself back to 4 actions, and it's the action phase. Let me start by reading passage number 5 for Zidineb. Is that Benedict's? It's one of those words that feels like it should be something backwards. It's not really. All right, entry number 5. The pearlescent clouds wrap around Zinedeb like a gaudy snow globe. The luxury resort suspended in the upper atmosphere shines like tiny oases of green and glass among the glistening mineral dust that fools the rich into taking their summers there for recuperation. As you approach the Lagrange Point trade hub, you spot a long string of auspicious star yachts that delivered the pampered glitterati below. The trade hub itself is pristine and polished, and you feel judged looking at it. You feel judged just looking at it. If you can sweet talk the security guards, they'll let you into the staff area, where it's possible to pick up a few odd jobs. Ooh, a good chance to make some money. Okay. Roll 2 dice to make a persuasion check and add your persuasion skill. If your total is 5 plus, you may look at the jobs board at 22. That didn't even really sound optional. It says just do it. Luckily, that's a real easy persuasion check. I have persuasion +2, and I'm rolling 2d6 here. So to get 5 plus, I just have to roll at least a 3. In other words, not snake eyes. I have a 35 out of 36 chance of succeeding at this check. Let's see. That'll do it. Okay, so that's a result of 11. That's just fine. Let's take a look at the jobs board at 22. Okay. The staff station is a hub for those employed to tend to and clean up after the visitors of the various spa ships. You check the job board and notice a couple of things you might be able to do with your travels. There are some bullet points here. Deliver a fresh food subscription box to Phobos Spa Cruiser here in Zidaneb for $2, and that takes 2 actions. Or transport Victoria to the leisure hub in Sloma for $4 within 3 turns. +1 passenger. Oh, I have paid very little attention to it, but there are passenger slots here. It's maybe a little hard to see on camera. This one with the bold black outline, that is an available slot. This one with the gray outline, similar to cargo here, you can see these gray outlines. I think you have to upgrade your ship to make those available. Okay, so she wants to go to Sloma within 3 turns to make $4, or I could spend 2 actions here to deliver a fresh food subscription box and make $2. Normally 2 actions gets you $1, so 2 actions for $2 is pretty good. What else do I want to do with this turn? I don't really want to hard labor. I could bounty hunt, but I feel like I want to upgrade my frag cannons before I do that. Bounty hunting would give me, like tier 3 enemies. I don't have enough weapon power for that yet, so I'm going to keep on hoping to avoid enemies. All right, yeah, I don't think there's anything pressing to do with these actions. I think I'm going to take both of these. So I am going to spend, it says a couple things you might be able to do. I assume that I can do both these things. Yeah, I can even see that the walkthrough text here says to pick up Victoria, and if you have 2 actions remaining, take the delivery, if you were following the walkthrough. So that means, okay, that answers my question of can I do both. So I will spend 2 actions, going from 4 to 2, to gain $2 from that delivery. And it is not an action. I am going to pick up Victoria, putting her in a passenger seat. All right. It's a good start. Some start to making some money. I need to get that frag cannon as my objective. And I guess the next thing I'm going to do is attempt to move to Ribakuma, which looks like an asteroid system here. So, again, this is going to take me an action, and it would take 2 drive power, which is how much I have. The danger that I have to roll against is increased by the enemy that is waiting there, which is at level 1. So I have to roll against a 3 here, which is a 50-50 shot, which means maybe it's a good thing that I have 2 actions left. Maybe I attempt this twice if I need to. So, all right, I'm going to attempt the move. 3 or lower would spawn an enemy. It's a 1. I do want to try combat, but I really did not invest in... Well, I could do combat and try to retreat. The tier 3, it would be a tier 3 enemy, right? So it's danger 2, and if there's an enemy, if there's a raider, rather, is what the game calls them. If there's a raider at the place where you're going, that value gets added. So I'd be looking at a level 3. And one of the things you can do in combat is try to retreat. This is like kind of the 3 ships are the slowest speed. The level 1 ships are really hard to get away from. They have 6 speed. You like literally can't beat that on a die roll, I think. The fighter and the vulture are slower. But I'm just not equipped to do anything but run away. I think I'm going to pass the action, not travel, and try one more time. Hopefully this one's a better roll. All right, so last attempt to travel. 5. I travel safely. Okay. I move. That's my last action. Similarly to last... Oh, and I spend 2 drive power. Similarly to last time, that just leaves me, do I want to have the encounter here now or at the top of next round? I think I'm going to do it now. I think I want to make my energy choices next time with as much information as possible. So let's see. This is Rebekuma. It is passage 6. Let's see. Rebekuma is a shabby and lurking cluster of rocks, a nightmare for the hypervigilant, as any number of threats could be hidden amongst the detritus that lines the passageway between this arm of the jump gate network. As your sensor array detects several incoming scans, you feel ever more like a fly trying to weave between spider webs, though nothing emerges from the shadows as you pass through the area. At least, nothing you can see. Oh, okay. So, nothing else happened there. So, just some story text. Okay, so that's fine that we took a look. All right, that is going to end that round. Danger is going to tick up to 3. That's a real problem. So I'm going to have to invest in some weapons. I'm going to probably need to fight on the way to Sloma. And the turn tracker is going to go down. I have 3 turns left. So this round I want to get to Sloma and drop off my passenger and buy some upgrades. Sell my cargo, drop off my passenger, buy upgrades. The next, and then I have 2 turns left to basically get to Chromiox and kind of resolve that outcome. Whatever happens when you get there, dealing with the disabled ship. So that's the game plan. For now, it's the energy phase. So I'm going to inject energy into the Q dice. I could spend energy to upgrade these if I had it. I don't. I can move dice clockwise. So we've got 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is again going to pass the Q, getting me an energy. Increase by my highest die, gaining 6 more. Power up the ship's systems. Okay. It cost me 1 drive to go to Sloma and 1 back if I even did so well as to make it both directions this turn. So I definitely want at least 2 drive. And I should probably spend the 2 to keep buying weapon power. It would cost me 3 to go higher on that track, but I could spend 2 to buy 1 more drive, which you can also spend on weapons. So let's do that. And that leaves me with 1 energy left over that I can't spend because they're all at too high of increments. Hopefully that's enough. Okay, 4 actions. So, moving to Sloma, I really think I want to avoid combat 1 more time is the ideal. I'd be rolling, there's no enemy there, so I'd be rolling just against the 3 danger, so it's a coin flip. I think I go straight into that move because I can make so much money and then spend it on upgrades and have my frag cannon available. It's just going to be like so much better to fight after I have that frag cannon. So, yeah. All right. So that's what I'm going to do. I will spend an action to attempt to move to Sloma. I'm going to roll against the danger level of 3. And it's a 2. So now I need to decide whether I want to encounter a tier 3 enemy. But the best I could do is 3 damage, and that doesn't take out any of them. This is rough. I've really just got to be stealthy. I think I need to pass that action and try again. I hate to do it. I'm not gonna waste all my actions on this though. If I fail the next one, No, I think if you retreat, you don't get to complete the move. Let's see. If you retreated, the action is spent, but you don't get the benefit of the action. So retreating, yeah, so my odds of rolling are just as good as retreating. The thing with retreating is that you can spend drive energy to roll more dice, and one of them has to be higher than the retreat value. Higher or equal or higher than. Sorry, I know I keep checking the rules, but like I said, I wanted to go in kind of blind to this. On a retreat attempt during combat, if it needs to exceed their speed value. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to pass that action and try 1 more time. 6, that'll get me to Sloma. Okay, that was my second action. I have 2 left while I'm here. And let me see what happens at Sloma. That is passage number 3. Sloma sits at the junction of two arms of the gate network and serves as a local trade hub. Large, well-defended hangars store containers of natural resources for buying and selling, as well as a handful of shipworks with huge robotic arms installing and upgrading hardware of ships for ships of all sizes. The glow of arc welders flaring across the cluster of trade stations. Over the last few months, you've built up a rapport with a handful of the vendors and have a regular haunt on the bustling leisure hub where the locals blow off steam after the more profitable days. I can trade with my friendly local vendors for one action, or I can drop into bar E9 for one action and to read passage 9. I mean, I definitely want to do that, right? I could do it now or I could do it next round before I leave. Let me trade. I'm not sure if the scenario is going to kind of prompt me, instruct me to drop off this passenger, or whether I was supposed to... There's a note section. Maybe I was supposed to write a note to do it automatically here. I'll see what the trade action... No, the trade action doesn't have text. Okay, so I think I'm supposed to drop her off. So that was... Oh boy, where did I have those options? It was like passage 22. This is where I guess I should have written some notes. Transport her for $4 within 3 turns. I definitely did it within 3 turns, so I think my passenger gets out, and I'm gonna get $4. I'm up to 8. That's pretty good. Okay, let's take a trade action. Now let's go to the bar first. That's an action in this case. So, reading passage 9. The entertainment and leisure hub sports a limited variety of options for the merchants, traders, and miners who work in the local area. Holographic signs advertise games of all sorts, a number of different cuisines, and even bed pods to rest for an hour or two. Bar E9 is a short walk from the internal docking bay where smaller spacecraft such as yours can park for as long as you have coin to spend. Murph, the long-haired, muscular barman, greets you warmly. Hey, buddy, haven't seen you in a couple weeks. I was starting to worry. Axford says the raiders have gotten worse out there on the arms recently. I can attest to that. You reassure Murph that you can handle yourself, and he asks if you'd like a seat at the bar. I can take a seat and catch up with Murph, one action, or grab a drink and find a quiet spot, which costs $1, but is worth one action. And these read different passages. Interesting. So I guess that would leave me trading at the start of my next turn. I think that's fine. I just realized I didn't spend the drive for that move, so there we go. Sorry about that. Also, sorry if you can hear my dogs barking in the backyard outside. I sure can. Do I want to catch up with Murph? I mean, Murph seems like a nice guy. Why would I spend $1 just to... Yeah, I wonder if it's just like it would kill time, gain me energy, something like that. I'm gonna talk with Murph. I'm gonna talk with Murph. So that's spending my last action and reading passage 10. Murph fills you in with all the local gossip. The hub owner, Berendinel, is raising the rents, and a couple of the spicier establishments have had their have had their tendencies revoked. Mercenaries were called to enforce the removal, and it's left a sour taste in the air ever since. Wilson and Zach aren't talking anymore, which is a harsh turnaround after being so starstruck with each other only last week. As you nibble at the bar snacks, you wonder whether Murph or the snacks are more salty. Wilson and Zach. Okay, so this is just random gossip, I see. Chatting to Murph is some much-needed social interaction. Gain +1 persuasion. Okay. So I'll put a die here as a reminder of that +1 persuasion. I have 3 persuasion now. Maybe that will help me kind of with the objective at the end. We'll see. All right, and then I'm out of actions. So I'm definitely, when I do finally bounty hunt, it's going to be against one of the toughest things because the danger level is 4. So that's a problem. And I'm down to 2 turns left. All right, I really got to fly through there. I'm going to have to power up, do one big combat, and hope for the best, I think. Okay, top of a new round, energy phase. I can inject energy into these dice. There's a couple things you can do. I believe you can spend an energy to buy a die that would be a 1, and that would kind of clutter this up, causing the 6 to skip more spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It would essentially do a full circle every time when there's 2 other dice out there. But with only 2 rounds left, I think it's going to pass the queue both times anyway. I think I just saved that energy. I don't really think it's very helpful here. So I'll skip that. I'll move dice clockwise. 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gaining energy from passing the queue, gaining energy equal to my highest die. I have 8 energy to spend on the ship systems. Okay, I know that I'm fighting this round. There's really no way I am not. So I am going to... So ships have shields that prevent damage each turn. So I want really one big turn in combat is kind of what I want. So I'm definitely going to have the frag cannon. I'm going to want to spend kind of all of my like weapon and drive energy all at once, I think, on one big turn with the way that these weapons work and the way that the raiders work. So why don't I spend 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to bump up drive 2 more times, and 3 to move weapons up once more? Yeesh. That's a lot, but I guess it's what I gotta do. That leaves me with 1 that I can't spend. Okay. Okay, that seems fine. I'm back to 4 actions, and I am going to use the first one to finally trade. So, I can purchase techs, sell resources, and I can, yeah, I guess those are the things. I think I can also buy upgrades here. They're listed here. I can buy a Q die for 7, and it would be set to 1, I assume. That seems brutal, but I can buy energy for 2. That might be worthwhile. Let's see how much money I end up with here. I'll start by selling my ice that I brought over from Herlock's. The scenario tells me that they have a price of 3 each, so I'm gonna get $6 for that, putting me at 14. Seems good. Now let's start shopping. No doubt, frag cannon for 5. And I am going to indicate that I have that by filling in that's number 1 in this technology section. So I have a frag cannon. My other options are navigator for $5. It lets me re-roll for movement once per turn. That would be a really nice coming into Ribakuma, where I would rather bounty hunt to deal with to get the danger level back down. I would prefer that rather than fight on the way where I don't get the money for defeating the enemy. There's also the booster. It lets me reroll a retreat each combat round, and after each energy phase, I get +1 drive. Free drive after the energy phase seems really good, but I only have 1 more energy phase in this whole game. So I don't think that's it either. I think I will take the navigator for 5. So I also have technology number 3. And I am going to spend the last $4 on two more energy. I think why not? There's also, I'll get to it if it happens, there's an opportunity to consume these dice. It's a little like Terra Mystica-ish. You can spend your dice out of your hyperdrive to get emergency energy during combat. And they're gone for good, so it's got to be a dire situation, but you can do it. So with that, I am going to, let's see, go down to 3 actions because I spent that on trade. All right, so I have the navigator. I can re-roll once for movement. So I want to move back to Ribakuma. It costs me 1 drive if I do it, and I get a re-roll on the attempt. The danger level is 4, which means I need to roll higher than 4. That would be the dream so that I can bounty hunt rather than encounter an enemy on the way. But let's see what happens. I think if I fail both rolls, I probably want to just go and have the fight on the way to preserve my actions. I'm not sure. I'll see how it feels if I fail these rolls. Okay, so I have 2 attempts to get over 4. That's a 1, that won't do it. I'll use my navigator reroll. A 6. We've done it. Okay. I'm gonna move back to Ribakuma safely, spend that action, and that 1 drive power that it took. Okay. It would cost me 3 drive to get to Chromiox, and I would almost definitely encounter an enemy on the way. So, and this was once per turn, which means I don't get the reroll on that attempt to move. Okay, so I want to bounty hunt here to get the danger level down. So I'm going to spend an action to bounty hunt, and I am going to double check how that bounty hunt works. Okay, If your location has a raider number, like that one, you may search for bounty. Roll a die and add the location modifier to determine the bounty level. Oh, so this could come to be a lower level ship. I was kind of thinking because it was I'm at danger level 4, I would fight the toughest type of ship here, but it's actually a die roll +1. So let's see what happens there. All right, so here's the roll to determine the ship level. 3. Oh, well, okay, tier 4 ship anyway. That's fine. That's fine. And then I am going to roll to decide which of the 2 tier 4 enemies I'll encounter. 1, 2, 3 is going to be type A. 4, 5, 6 is going to be type B. It is type B, a stealth ship. I think this is what I wanted. It doesn't attack first, which means if I can blow it up in one attempt, I am golden. So this stealth ship has 2 shield. It's going to prevent the first 2 damage each round of combat. 2 health. I just have to get 2 through. It attacks me for 3, which I can just survive, but I could not survive twice. And it has an ability that says it negates 1 rolled 6 each round. That sounds potentially pretty brutal. That's the scariest thing, is that like if it cancels the success that makes the difference in destroying it, I could lose the game here. We'll see what happens. Okay, this is where I spend weapon and drive power to put power into these weapons. I think I want to These work very differently. So the laser, it says roll dice W dice equal to the weapon power that you spend. Each die that gets a 3+ is a damage. The frag cannon, I roll 5 dice, but I do it W times. So each weapon energy that I spend here is a reroll, and I can hold on to the 4+s. Each 4+ that I get is another damage. So how do I want to distribute this? I think I want, so I'm going to spend definitely all my weapon power. I'm going all in here on blowing up the stealth ship on this attempt. So that was 3. I was here, right? No, I was here. 1, 2, 3, that's 4. Okay, so let's do 2 frag cannon and 2 laser right there. And, oh man, that was a brain fart. I'm slightly worried that I was not. No, I'm pretty sure I spent the 3 energy to power up that weapon. Okay. And I can spend drive energy, right? Let me double check that that it's that simple, is that drive can just be done for either one. Let's see. Weapon and or drive power. Okay, so I'm going to spend... I guess I'm going to spend all but 1 drive power so that I can attempt a retreat if I would die. So that means I'm going to get 2 more uses of my weapons. Let's put 1 more in each of these and hope that's enough. I needed to get 4 total damage through, but it's going to cancel one of my 6s. So I'll roll for the frag cannon first. I'm rolling 5 dice 3 times. Well, okay. I think that I can't re-roll the 6, because this says to reserve 4+ rolls. There is a little reference explaining the weapons in more detail. Yeah, put it to the side. It doesn't look like it gives me the option. So, okay, so there's the negated die. But good news, I rolled well enough on 3 more. I only need 1 more hit. And I have 2 more rolls on this remaining frag cannon die. It's possible I overspent here. And that'll do it. 4 damage is enough. Just to see how much damage I did, let me roll 3 dice for the laser. Each 3+ is a hit. That's 2 more hits. Well, I overdid it, or had very good luck. Anyway, hedged my bets pretty hard there, and I'm happy that it worked out at least. So, I did more than 4 damage. That is going to defeat the stealth ship outright. It doesn't get a turn to attack me. Also, I was bounty hunting, so I get its $7 reward. And danger level goes down to 1. That went great. We'll clear these out. I have 1 action left, and I don't really know what to do with it. I might just pass, because I don't want to bounty hunt again. I have no power left to fight. I can't trade here. I can't mine here. I don't have 2 actions for hard labor. Yeah, I think I passed that action. The turn ends. Danger level goes up to 2. Great. And I bump the tracker down. This is the final round. I have to win here. Okay. So, top of a new round. Inject energy into the dice. Is there any reason to? I don't think so. In fact, one of the ways I can resolve the objective is to well, the objective. I just reread the objective. It's to supply the distress ship with 5 energy and 1 ice. I sold all my ice. I don't have any ice. Unless there's ice to be found at that location via like its encounter, I think I have to loot the ship. Sorry, disabled ship. I'm coming to raid you. Okay. All right. That's an oversight. But anyway, back to energy. All right. I won't inject any energy. So I'm going to move the dice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's going to gain me an energy for the Q, and 6 for the die, 10 energy. So it takes 3 drive to get to Chromiox. So I'm definitely going to spend 1 and 1, 2 on drive. I think just in case I need extra drive, I do 2 more. And then let me buy some weapons just in case. And in case something like in the encounter there wants me to have some energy, I'll leave some. So I'm going to power up my weapons by 2 for a total of 3 energy. That feels right. It's also possible that I need that stuff because I encounter an enemy on the way. Hopefully that's not the case. Okay, let's go into the action phase. I'm going to go straight into moving because I don't know if I will need actions to complete the objective. So here we go. Moving. The danger level is 2. It costs 3 drive to make the move to Chromiox. So spend that action. Let's clear out some dice, get the clutter out of here. And I need to exceed the danger level of 2. I do have the navigator for a reroll again this turn. I got it. All right, we're moving to Chromiox. And I think we'll read passage number 2 while we are here. The beauty of Chromiox's razor-thin ring of rocks and dust shines like the beacon of a forgotten empire. A gem with nobody to gaze upon it, the golden planet is almost abandoned at the fringe of the jump network, with all but the most steadfast inhabitants migrating away from the electromagnetic storms that seasonally rip through the area. As you approach the outer ring, you detect the distress signal's origin, a tiny escape pod stuck in parallel orbit to the vessel it seemingly barely escaped from. The cluster of semi-molten metallic fragments and straggling cables nearby suggests massive reactor failure. Your external cameras zoom in enough to see a tiny shard of glass spinning impossibly fast at the epicenter, the reflections blending into a continuous spotlight of sunlight. Open communications at 12. A voice channel opens up and the sound of desperation on the lady's voice is palpable. Hello, can you please help us? We've been floating disabled for days. Our fresh water is dangerously low and our engines are completely drained. Could you spare some water and energy? We would gladly pay you for both. Choose reply. Sure, I can get you up and running again. Give 5 energy and 1 ice. Well, I didn't save energy because I knew I didn't have the ice, so that's off the table. My other options are, what kind of payment are we looking at? I'm sorry, I don't have enough to spare. It looks like you're defenseless out here. Give me all your money. Or I'll be taking everything once you're dead. Well, I have a feeling I need to loot the disabled ship for the objective, but I don't feel villainous. So I'm going to say, I'm sorry, I don't have enough to spare. Please hurry. We won't make it out of here much longer. You turn your ship around only to see an ugly raider vessel fast approaching. Oh no, you turn your ship around only to see an ugly raider vessel fast approaching, weapons charged. Start combat level 4, you may not retreat. On defeat, read 18, on victory, raid 19. Well, maybe I should have just fucked her up. It looks like I've gotten myself into trouble. Alright, let's see what we can do here. I almost forgot I should have spent 3 drive energy. Alright, it's a level 4 combat. We're only rolling to see which variety of raider we get. 1, 2, 3 is A. It's a 6. Okay, it's another stealth ship coming at us. Alright, so a similar plan would hopefully work just as well. It's going to negate 1 rolled 6 again each round. The problem is I have lower systems, and as I check the combat flow here, when can I do my emergency energy? I think I maybe can't do it on the first round of combat. Let's see. Sorry about this. Engage ship systems. I can only do the emergency charge after the enemy attacks. There's no attempting retreat here. So, oh boy, okay. I wonder if this persuade, like, why did it upgrade my persuasion? I bet I could have come up with some way to use that here with a different option. Anyway, all right, so the best that I can do here is, I think, here's what I think I do. I think I want to use that same strategy here of trying to do a big enough hit all at once. So the question is, do I try it now where I have 2 weapons and 1 drive power? So I could do a total of 3. I could do like 2 frag cannon and 1 laser, which like would have been enough last time. 4 damage would have to get through. Or I could take a hit, do an emergency energy power up, and then go for it. I'm going to get greedy. I think I'm going to, let's see. I'll have enough energy after the emergency power to try again next time, it seems like. So let me try now. So I'm going to spend 3 total energy. I'm going to put 2 on the frag cannon, 1 on the laser. And the stealth ship is again going to negate a 6. Alright, so frag cannon. I have 2 attempts here. This was not as good. There's a 5. That's a damage. I need to roll very well on my only reroll. I got another 5. That's pretty bad. That was a pretty bad roll. Okay. Then I'm rolling 1 laser die. On a 3+, it's a damage, but on a 6, it's negated. So I need a 3, 4, or 5 here to land 1 damage on the ship. A 1 won't do it. Brutal. I bounce off the shield. Okay. All right. Well, now it attacks me for its printed 3. That's going to hit my shield for 3. I don't quite die, but I have 0 shield. I cannot take another one. And then we're going to go to emergency energy. So this is where I'm going to spend my 6. That's gone for good, but it's the last round of the game, so that's fine. Go up to 8 energy, and then I can spend it on my ship systems. So why don't I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I guess I might as well buy some shield, but, you know, it doesn't matter. Okay. All right. Sip of my energy drink. I need all the energy I can get here. All right. With that, let me clear that weapon power from last turn. I have 5 total weapon power. I'm spending it all. It's all or nothing here. Let's go 3 frag cannon, 2 laser. And I need to land 4 damage to hit the shield and health of this ship. It's going to cancel 1, 6. Here goes nothing. It cancels a 6, but then I'm going to keep this 6. That's a hit. And I have 2 more rolls of these dice. Let's get some more hits. 4+. Heck yes. Okay, that's 3 more. That does it again with the frag cannon. Why couldn't I roll like that last time? That was in 2 rolls. Last time, you know, dice. Dice, am I right? Okay. I blow up the stealth ship. I succeed. For what it's worth, danger level goes back down to 1. And on victory, I read passage 19. Cooling systems whine and damage reports flash as you recover from the adrenaline burst of combat. The escape pod opens communication again. It seems we're in much more danger than I'd hoped for. My name is Professor Fleetwood, and the truth is, we have some critical scientific equipment on board. Would you be able to escort us to safety? A scientist out here? Something's not what it seems here, but regardless of the secrets they're keeping, they're sitting ducks for any number of morally gray misfits out here. And maybe there's a big paycheck on the horizon. What have you got to lose? You've completed Mission 0. Continue to Mission 1. Oh, interesting. I'm not going to read this, but I can see at a glance that this is a branching path. Down here, at one of the other outcomes, it says Continue to Mission 2. Fascinating. I didn't actually know whether this had branching paths in its campaign, but it seems to. All right, that was Hyperdrive? Hyperdrive. Hyperspace is where my head wanted to go. Hyperdrive Odyssey by Alex Cannon and Microdot Games. For off-the-cuff reactions, I enjoyed it. I think it's a cool little kind of efficiency puzzle, And I love, like, we play a lot of campaign games on the channel. We have a year, it's going to take years at the rate we're playing it. We have Oathsworn going, all sorts of stuff like that. So I love those like narrative twists and kind of like playing the puzzle of the game, but also having a story unfold and just unknowns around every corner, I think is really fun. And this delivers that in a print and play that's really, really cool. So I'm eager to see the rest of it. I'll be keeping an eye on the Kickstarter. Again, that Kickstarter is beginning here at the end of May. I'll put a link to it in the description. Print and plays are usually not very expensive, especially in the tariff era. I've definitely been paying, I already like print and plays and roll and writes, so I've been paying even more attention to them than ever as I look at my budget for for buying games in the 2025 world here in the US. So this is really exciting. I'm eager to see where it goes, and thank you for watching. If this is your first time checking out Optimal Play, we have all sorts of playthroughs and game discussions on the channel. So I'm more often than not, I'm with friends on the channel. I'm not solo, but I get some solo games in here too. And so yeah, we'd love if you would subscribe, check out our other videos, and we'll see you on those videos. Till then, be optimal.